good.
Look at that polo on you looking.
I appreciate
looking
this.
nice. I mean, you look very, very. I don't want to say this.
Svelte.
Svelte.
What is? I don't know if I've ever heard that term.
Svelte is like, you're in. You look very athletic, very sharp, very.
Whoa,
clean,
athletic.
very athletic.
I can't remember the last time somebody called me and said that I looked athletic.
You look very athletic.
Wow, thanks, AD.
Very athletic, man. I can
Happy
tell on your
Friday to
shoulders.
you.
And one thing I noticed yesterday, we didn't get any push-ups in yesterday. We
did not.
For some reason, we failed to do that.
Well,
and
our minds kind of race. We both are we fall victim. I make it fun of you a lot because of your not attention span, but just you have a lot going on, right? You're dodging bullets left and right.
Mhm.
I make fun of you, but I have to look. I have to point the thumb and look at myself in the mirror.
You're growing. I like that.
I know. Well, I'm about to be 25, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to start taking a little more accountability for myself.
Mhm.
And we both have our minds that in the 2 hours from 9 to 11, they race all over the place.
Mhm.
And we just forget sometimes during the commercial breaks. It's not intentional. I'm not trying to get out of these push-ups. I'll eventually do them.
I don't think it's that at all. I don't think.
But see,
I think
here's the
sometimes
thing.
we just get busy and.
I don't know if I want to do push-ups today because I don't want to crease the New Balances.
Oh, let me see.
I got the white and gray New Balances.
I like
and
those.
so I don't know if I want to crease them, and that's where when you're down there doing push-ups.
Whoa! You would crease them more by walking than you would just stationary doing push-ups. I mean,
no, because when you basically put your toes on the ground when you're doing push-ups.
Well, when you're walking and you're flexing the shoe every time you take.
No, not me. I just flat foot. Yeah, I just flat foot. I intentionally do it.
Now
flat
you're
foot.
getting pretty thick into it. I'm gonna have to get some boots on. I'm gonna have to get some boots on if you keep down this journey.
No. At least I don't walk like Jay Foreman. That's all. Jay. I worry about Jay. I worry about Jay. I've said it before. I've told it to his face. I just worry about his ankle support.
Speaking of faces, you might get rearranged later today.
No, not at all. Not at all. I just, this is a genuine thing for me. I worry about Jay's ankle support.
Yeah, Keith Denny, good morning. You go, just pop them shoes off and give me the push-ups.
I could do that.
Just take them off.
I'm glad Rubber Duck from LinkedIn picked up on this because a lot of people will say, I don't want to crease the Jordans or I don't want to crease the Jays. And I straight up was like, I don't want to crease the New Balances. Rubber Duck from LinkedIn saying you don't want to crease the dad shoes is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy work right there, Swim. But I will say this: those are some high-profile dad shoes. Those are some.
No, I like.
Those.
I would not classify these as dad shoes.
No, because when you think of New Balances,
you think of the Velcro strap.
Think of the Velcro strap. The guy sitting out there on the deck barbecuing, working on the grill, but. Those are definitely not grill shoes.
Let us know, 402-464-5685, if you own a pair of those shoes, of those white New Balances that we all know. The secondary color is usually a navy blue hint or tint of it as well. If you own a pair, on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are they? Because I feel like those just have so much cushion. They never wear down. They're your perfect mowing shoes. They get a little green from the grass clippings. They're just the perfect all-purpose shoe. I've thought about buying some.
So old school shoes, since we've gone down this journey, do you remember, Nick, you're probably too young. Have you ever seen Etonics?
No. Never even heard of them.
Remember the Etonics? They were a shoe that actually the guy that kind of made him famous was X-Man. He played for Seattle.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. His name is Xavier McDaniel. He used to play for the Seattle Seahawks. And then he went and played for the Knicks for a while too, but he had some Etonics.
Etonic shoes.
Yeah, take a look at those, man. Etonics.
Oh, these things are coming back.
And then Spot Built. No, I think X-Man may have had he may have had Spot Builts. X-Men may have had Spot Builts.
Okay.
I might have been wrong on
that.
These
Etonics are starting to come back. Like these types of shoes, and they just don't fit my style. And so frankly, I don't know what my style is. I just know it's not this. It's not a shoe that's named Etonic Kendari 3.0 Banana. That's just not my style. And I don't know. We'll see. The great thing about these New Balances, I got these wide feet. And I ended up buying my first pair of Adidas a couple of months ago, AD. and because I had to for something else that I'm doing. And
Did you like them?
I'm not a fan of them. There was only one option for wide feet. Only one option on their website for wide
And
feet.
what is that?
Just a plain black 3-stripe Adidas Life shoe.
You see
Those are sick.
those are the E-Tonics. I mean, the spot
Is that what
bills.
you were hooping with at the
The
Y
spot
or at
bills.
the high yesterday?
No, Xavier McDaniel had the spot bills, but I did have a pair of spot bills though.
Okay.
There was a place called, oh man, it's going to hit me later. It was on Westo, and it was a shoe store. Text line, if you're older than 45, remember that shoe store that was on
If you're older
Westo?
than 45,
Yeah.
you can reply to
It was
this
right over
question.
the overpass. It was
If
on
you are
Westo.
44 and a half, you out.
And I think
I
it
don't
started
wanna hear
with
from
an
you.
S, not Schaefer. It wasn't Schaefer's, wasn't Schaefer. I forget the name of the store, but it was an athletic store on West O Street. If you remember, text line, if you're over 45, help me out because it was an athletic store. I bought a pair of spot builts from there. And they had E-Tonics that were there as well, but spot builts, man.
A couple people on the text line. Ohio Husker says they aren't dad shoes anymore. The kids are all starting to wear them. They are.
They
It's
came
starting
back
to
in
become.
style.
There's a lot of stuff that's becoming back in style.
Do you think Pro Kids will come back in style?
I don't even know what those are. I would have to say probably not. If at this point we don't know what they are.
Pro Kids were a good shoe.
Yeah, I don't know.
They were
Like,
kind of like the Top Flight golf ball of shoes.
oh, so they were hard as a rock. Hard as a rock. And
yes, the Surplus Center. Thank you, unknown texture 8893. It was the Surplus Center. It was a sporting goods, hunting, fishing store. There we go. That's
yeah.
I can't remember the name. It might have been called the Surplus. I think it was called the
Yeah,
Surplus Center.
it was
too.
the Surplus Center.
Thank you so much, 8893. They had
That's-
everything in there.
That's awesome. I've never been to. These are going to be. Well, this is way off topic. Never been to an IKEA, but people say it's like
Oh, dude.
it's incredible.
No, Swim. Do you listen?
Stay away from IKEAs.
I mean, hey, to each their own. I'm not knocking
Okay.
anybody
Yeah,
who
yeah.
likes, appliance and furniture stores, but that is not my thing to do, man. I hate going to stores like
Okay.
IKEA. And you know what, Nick? I think it started for me because my mom called me her running buddy because I was always with my mom
Oh.
because I was youngest.
Yeah.
Material stores, fabric stores, I hate them.
Yeah.
Places like Hobby Lobby.
Whoa,
I'm-
whoa,
I'm-
whoa, whoa,
hey,
whoa, whoa.
I'm sorry.
No free shout outs. No free shout
No
outs.
free shout outs. But craft stores, I can't stand them. Material fabric places, can't stand them.
Yeah.
Furniture stores, I want to know what I'm getting before I get there. Hey, this is what I want. I'm getting. I don't like
There-
going to furniture stores.
You know the
none
one
of
that
stuff.
you can get into an aisle at some of these places, and a lot of the male listenership that's tuning in right now will be able to relate to this. You get into an aisle, and like in one of these stores, and you kind of just start to get dizzy. And you I'm serious, you start to
Yeah.
get dizzy because there's so much going on. The worst place I've ever experienced dizziness, almost fainted just because I was so overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that was on the shelves. It was up in Omaha at, I believe it is West Roads Mall,
Mhm.
the Container Store.
Oh heck no!
And that's
Can't
all
do
it is. It's just
Can't do
Tupperware
it.
for days.
Can't do
All it is from top to bottom on the shelves is Tupperware. Now, granted,
I can't do it.
it was
man.
usable, but also I'm not paying $45 for a thing of Tupperware. I'm gonna go to Dollar Tree and get something, the same exact thing that I can run through the dishwasher. Oh, if it breaks, if I lose it, if I leave it at work, if I throw it away, guess what? I buy a new one, $1.25. Simple. Think simple.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I can't do stores like that, man. Yes, Troy and Lincoln. Remember the kangaroos? Yes, Walter Payton wore the kangaroo shoes. Man, Nick, you've heard me talk about kangaroos before, though.
Yes.
The shoes,
Yes.
kangaroos.
Yeah.
AD,
AD, as we get ready to close out the segment, when was the last concert you went to?
oh boy. Swim.
I didn't expect this to stump you as much as it is.
Remember, I'm not a big concert guy.
This is going to come across way worse than I mean it. You're just not a big group people person, even though you're a keynote speaker.
Yeah, I speak and get the heck out of there
Yeah, there's a reason you're up on stage with nobody within a
Yep.
10-foot.
and slip out real quick. I'm trying to think. Swim. It may have been Georgia Florida line. Is that what it's called?
Florida Georgia
Or
line.
Florida Georgia
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Georgia,
Somebody
Florida.
clip that. We got to clip that. It might have
Alabama, I
been. It
don't
might have
know.
been Georgia
What's
Florida
what are they
line.
called? Florida
A
Georgia.
Florida Georgia line. Yeah, you
Florida,
just mixed
Georgia
up the
line.
states. You're fine.
I think that
They-
was, and it was me
they've,
and Mike Dixon. He's a
they've
coach
broken
now
up.
in Utah. They broke up?
They broke up a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah. I don't get into the whole pop culture thing. The only reason I know this is because a couple months ago I asked my buddies, I said, hey, have you guys seen anything from like Florida Georgia Line recently? Like, they released Holy and they released a couple other songs. And I was like, they just fall off the face of the earth. And they're like, well, they broke up and they named some of the individual singers and they've released some music. But D-Train says rumor has it that they are getting back together. Bands go through all this stuff. I don't know. I went to a concert last night. I decided at the very last moment to sprint up to Omaha for Eric Church and Ella Langley. Now, this is a country concert.
Why did you want to go so bad?
Here's the deal. There are very few people, and I have zero issue admitting this. There are very few people that I'll be like, drop everything. And I have no shame in saying this. And if people want to make fun of me on the text line, I'll happily read them.
Happily read them.
Ella Langley, for men that are ages, 22 to 27, have a chokehold on us. I mean, it's just that the music is good. She's attractive. I'll say that.
Ella Langley.
What's
your story?
See, D-Train. Oh, boy, Ella Langley. See, everybody's understanding it. Everybody's understanding.
It's the girl.
100%. And I'm going to be honest. Here's the deal. So she's only opening for Eric Church is a well-known figure. And I got to give them credit. They sold out CHI last night. And I was shocked that Eric Church. Do you know any Eric Church songs?
I've heard of him, but
okay.
What's one of his famous popular songs?
Let's see. Text line can help me out with some of the popular ones. I know the ones that I was Claytonia. hey. So here's the deal. I'm telling you guys.
He goes, I can't read the first part. He goes, and I'm 45 years old.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Like, Eric was really good. However, he started out. So he's releasing a new album for the first time in a couple of years. Drink in My Hand is a good one. Let's see, there's like, Record Year is a popular one for him. Talladega is a popular one. There's just a couple of other ones, but he is releasing a new album. So his first like 9 songs were just snoozers because nobody knew him.
So they were new songs.
It was newer stuff. But here's the deal. He came on at 9:01 p.m. and we left a couple of minutes before he ended at 11:45.
He was still going.
He went for almost 3 hours, and it was incredible. But yeah, so back to the Ella Langley thing. She has blown up in the last like year and a half. The best part about this tour, Eric Church actually signed her as the opener for like 3 or 4 stops this entire tour. Well, she's going on her own tour in a couple of months because she's that popular. And so it's essentially you got 2 main acts for the price of one, and Ella Langley opened up. And
where's she from?
I think Alabama. And it was incredible. Yeah. I mean, I've never seen a place so energetic for the opener, but she was great.
It looked like it was a great concert.
She was great.
You notice I clicked like on your post.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you look at mine and keep scrolling. There's never.
Well, I looked at the one yesterday where I said we're gonna party down low. And I thought, I don't know how much I want people knowing. So anyway. Rubber duck. Yeah. So, but no, it was a great concert last night. Somebody said that's like driving to Kansas City for IKEA. Sam goes, that reminds me of IKEA. You drive all the way to Kansas City for some plastic and Mickey Mouse instructions. So anyway, Thomas and Lincoln says, Nick, there's no way you got them digits. Absolutely, I did not. It's Ella Langley. Every man in the arena would take the digits if they could have had them last night.
Unknown texter 6340 says, so we can give IKEA a free shout out, but not Hobby Lobby.
Well, you got to talk localized.
You did try to cut me up
it's
like
localized.
That. Oh, so what about Cigars Lounge? You mentioned Cigars Lounge. I mean, those guys are right down the road. Good people down there.
I'm saying we can't. I'm saying we can't.
No free shout outs. And then right away you went, have you ever been to IKEA?
I'm like, no. I said it's because it's localized. We no free shout outs to the people that are near, but free shout outs to the people that aren't going to really.
As out of the state line.
Yeah, not necessarily going to benefit off of us talking. Yeah. It's like the recruiting. 300-mile radius.
Swimming AD or driving them through the doors.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like a 300-mile recruiting radius.
free shout-outs.
No, it's also just the bit of no free shout outs. Like, that's just the point. Whenever AD says I'm not actually, I mean, I am serious about it, but, taking away my business. No, it's funny. But no, it was great. It was a great concert last night. Hopefully, let me know if you went on the text line 464-5685. D-Train says Eric Church didn't sell it out. She did. You're probably right.
How many does it hold there?
Oh, so I know for a basketball game, it holds 16, 17,000 or around there, maybe even a little bit more. So I would imagine that with no basketball floor and there was pit tickets that was, full to the brim, I would imagine that, we were creeping up to 20,000 last night.
That's good.
It was great.
Good to hear.
It was great.
Folks, I am going to head, I'll just kind of give a quick rundown overview. I'm going to be riding with you until about 9:45, 9:50. And then, of course, since I have the all-black attire on, we'll be heading to James Jackson's dad's funeral. James Jackson Jr., his father, James Jackson Sr., who we talked about, that's at 11. Me and some others are going to be pallbearers. So we get there early, of course, for obvious reasons. Nick will carry on.
Yes. We're with Bach. Yeah, Bach's going to
join the show as well. When we come back, though, there's an individual, and I just worked out with his brother not too long ago, that was inducted finally to the NFL Hall of Fame, former Nebraska running back and fullback, might I add, Roger Craig. After a 3-decade wait, he is in the Hall of Fame. We'll discuss when we come back, folks. It's The Drive, 937 Ticket.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the top-selling Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to help blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide smooth energy so you can cruise through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Culture and Coffee with Mike Smith and the Bowie Boys is back this Friday, February 6th, featuring members from the Nebraska baseball team. Stop by this Friday between 5 and 8 p.m. as we turn the ticket into a skate park. You heard that right, a skate park, and also highlight the upcoming year for Husker baseball with players from the team. Again, that's 5 to 8 p.m. this Friday, February 6th, for a live broadcast of Culture and Coffee from 5 to 7 p.m. and a Vintage Market Plus skate experience hosted by the Bowie Boys from 7 to 8 p.m. This is a party you won't want to miss.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, online at doubleeagle.golf.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Lincoln's Coffee Week is now Coffee Month in February. With 25 participating venues, visit and check into at least 10 for a chance to win a $250 gift card to the venue of your choice. More details at lincoln.org/coffee-month, brought to you by Visit Lincoln.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
The Lincoln Stars are back at home this weekend as they take on the Youngstown Phantoms at the Icebox. Friday night is Revenge of the Sixth, and Nebraska Volleyball will drop the ceremonial first puck, with the force being strong, at 7 o'clock. Then on Saturday, the Stars and Phantoms go at it again with a 6 p.m. puck drop. 2 big nights of hockey, special teams, and nonstop action. Get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com and be part of the fun this weekend at the Icebox.
Hey guys, it's Austin Orman. Join me and former Husker Jay Foreman this Friday, February 6th for Old School, live from Back 9 Golf, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Roads in South Lincoln. We'll tell you all you need to know about the premier indoor golf place in Lincoln while enjoying Friday afternoon action of the Waste Management Open. Stop by for giveaways, prizes, and a tour of the facility. We hope to see you there on Friday, February 6th, beginning at 3 p.m. for Old School, live from Back 9 Golf in South Lincoln.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gia. I'm sure there wasn't any of that going on last night, right?
No.
Gia.
Also, if there was, who cares?
What's her name?
Ella Langley. It's
Ella
fine.
Langley?
It's fine.
What's her top song?
She did one with Riley Green a couple of weeks ago.
Do you have any idea what her songs are, or are you just looking at
Yes,
her face?
no,
I've
I
asked
do
you
know
a few
her
times.
songs.
It's kinda-
I do know her
It's kind of
songs.
like the movie The Hangover. It's kind of odd if I had to ask you twice to put your pants on. It's kind of odd if I had to ask you twice to name one of her songs.
Dandelion, You Look Like You Love Me, Weren't for the Win.
Okay, You Look Like You Love Me. Which one's a faverite song of hers for you?
I started to see the Dandelion is really good.
What's
That's the one I put on my story last
What's
night.
the lyric from that?
The one it goes the one that's the most popular is "Excuse me, you look like you love me, you look like you want me." Yeah, there's more. There's more to it, but there you go.
But she sings it. Obviously, she has a very soft. Is her voice more sultry? Is it more?
It's southern.
Deep, more southern.
Yeah, very.
I like this.
Yes.
A bit.
Yeah, very, very good.
And when the
You
words-
sound just like
what's
her.
some words like?
You sound just like her.
Swim. I tell you what.
AD, that beard looks. I mean, it's professionally manicured
Well, I
today.
tell you what. Swim this beard right here. All you gotta do is get some sod.
Okay.
And they'll put it on there, put a little Sharpies, and they'll sharpen that up right there, have it looking just nice.
Anyway, should we talk about Roger Craig?
Buddy? Because see, sometimes Swim, sometimes it's just like a football field that's missing some turf. You go to your barber, and in some of your urban areas, they can put some things on the grill, sharpen it up. Next thing you know, looks like you got a Sharpie right across your gosh darn face.
Well, that's not what I wasn't making any jokes about. I was being serious.
I am, buddy,
it is.
'cause I got a little salt and pepper, which I don't mind.
Wait, so did you fill it in?
Yeah, well, get your little dye on there to get it all
You
lined
did.
up. But I don't mind the grays. But when you got an event, you want to make sure you're proper. You got to make sure the beard game looks like a clean game. You can't have dirty fields out there, Swim. Can't do that. I'll be gosh darn.
That is
You
hilarious.
hit the stage, you look like you've been
It's
there.
like Ryan Day. Ryan Day from a couple of years ago when he stop.
Well, I didn't say
There's-
nothing.
I don't know what you were gonna say.
The clip yesterday was funny. When I mentioned, I watched that clip over. I said, "Yeah, it's me, Jay Foreman, Mike Rucker, Kenny Cheatham." You go, "Well, that's not fair." I'm like, "Why not?" You went, "I know what you was gonna say." All those black guys and all Americans and former NFL guys.
Well,
That's not a fair team.
I meant it more so as like those guys are supreme athletes
Your
to just
face
the
on
common
video,
person.
Swim.
I know,
Oh,
because I
man.
was about to be like, well, that's not fair. Those are all incredible athletes. But then see, everybody takes everything such the incorrect way. And it's just like, I had to bite my tongue because I knew that if I said, I was like, man, well, that's unfair. They got all Americans up and down that entire roster. And you'd be like, oh, so what? Why? Because what?
Brothers can't play ball together.
See, and I'm like, I don't have a response for that. I don't know what to say. I start to fold. I get all
folks,
red in the face.
You
I
gotta
start
go watch
blushing.
it. You gotta go back and watch it, folks. If you haven't seen it, what did I put it on? I put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
So if you're an Instagram person, I think it's still up on my stories. But man, Nick, I seriously was laying in bed laughing last night at your facial expression. And then when you said party down low, you said you said that like 5 times.
Oh man. It is a celebration today. Because Roger Craig and AD,
Yes, he was.
obviously you can speak on this a lot better than I can,
well-
but finally in.
He's finally in. Before we get to Roger, we'll get to the person who helps make this possible, our partnership with Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services. He's been a well-respected rep since 1999. Jack can help protect your home, your vehicle, your family, even your future. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100 or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or in Seward and learn how Jack Bureau of Financial Services can help you. You know, Nick, this thing with Roger is so cool in that his brother Curtis, I posted it on my Facebook page last night, in fact. Curtis Craig is older. Curtis is I think Curtis is 71 or 72. I was with Willie Sapp, who's been a longtime LPS educator. He's 74. And then when you see that picture, you're like, that dude, both those guys could be my dad, literally. But in great shape. Curtis looks just like Roger. But Roger, man, kudos to Roger after 3 decades of eligibility, which is absurd. He is officially heading to Canton. It was, I believe, Leon, either Haley, I think it was Leon. No, it might have been Haley. Haley or Leon Lett that was with Ronnie Lott when they went to Roger Craig's place. It was on the Hall of Fame, Canton. They're on their X page, going to his door. You can see him hugging those guys. It literally gave you goosebumps watching
I'm sure.
So it's a perfect setting for the announcement. The ceremony took place in San Francisco, obviously where Craig built his NFL legendary status there. He went on to play for the Vikings for a few years as well. But the dynasty he was a part of, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, I can go on and on, Charles Haley. Of course, I mentioned Jerry Rice already. Tom Rathman, the other former Nebraska. Nick, growing up as a kid and to see 2 Nebraska backs starting and dominating the NFL, and Tom Rathman, a native of Grand Island, and Roger Craig right across the border there in Iowa, was pretty dang cool as a kid to see that and to see them flourish. In 85, Craig became the first player in NFL history to rush for 1,000 yards and to catch for 1,000 yards in the same season. That achievement has only been matched twice since then. Of course, Marshall Faulk did it in 99 and McCaffrey did it in 2019.
Pretty good company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Swim, it was an elite runner, receiver, blocker. And a lot of people may not know this if they're not old enough. When Mike Rozier came from Coffeyville Community College, Roger moved to fullback. Mike was at I-back.
It's I mean, incredible. I mean, obviously you guys have a deeper connection to him because he's part of the brotherhood, right? But then it's somebody like here, like I look at the statistics and I obviously it begs the question of how did this take so long? Why did this take so long? You're talking about a guy in just 8 years with San Francisco had almost 11,600 yards from scrimmage. I mean, that is incredible to think about in terms of all the facets of the game that he impacted. A guy that almost had 2,200 touches in San Francisco over those 8 years.
Man.
You break it down to the yearly average, and yeah, like there's seasons back then weren't as long as they are now. But even his 17 game average, if you took his statistics and you kind of put it to what it would be this season, just on average, they're still really, really impressive. And for the volume that he touched the rock and for what he was able to do with it on a consistent basis, I once again, like, as somebody that never was able to see him play, right, in college or in the NFL, it's still shocking to me. I'm thrilled that it's finally been accomplished, because that's one of the biggest things I remember just from starting out doing shows with you and Raph, in all honesty, is just that was one of the biggest things that we could, or you guys could always bond over and talk for hours about, is the fact that Roger Craig's not in the Hall of Fame. Now he is.
And you know what, Swim, it's better late than never, and thank God he's still with us.
Yeah.
To be able to smell his roses. But his career numbers: 8,189 rushing yards, 566 receptions, elite for that era. 4,911 receiving yards, 13,100 total yards from scrimmage, production championships. He was a part of 3 Super Bowl titles, 84, 88, and 89. Finished with 410 yards from scrimmage in Super Bowls, third most of all time. Also becomes the 6th Nebraska alum in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He joins Guy Chamberlain, Roy Link Lyman, Bob Brown, Will Shields, and Mick Tingelhoff. Another reminder, Nebraska just didn't produce players that produced prototypes during those times, Swim. And I think it's just mind-blowing to think it's taken this long, but man, it's so good to see him finally make it in.
Yeah.
Swim, with that being said, let me ask you this, because me and you really never talked about this, because we got, about 5 minutes?
Not even. Yep.
Minutes. With him finally getting in, obviously these numbers are staggering. He should have been in decades ago as far as that goes. How much of a slap in the face is it that Bill Belichick is not in on first ballot?
I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't know what the reason is behind both Belichick and Robert Kraft, frankly, not
if
getting
we're speaking on the field only.
Yeah, well, and you talk about from an ownership standpoint, the way that Robert Kraft has helped construct the team, and frankly, the dynasty that was the New England Patriots when Tom Brady was there and Bill Belichick was there. It's hard to disagree that that's one of the best, 7-10 year stretches of any franchise in NFL history. And
Right.
I don't know, and this is me being completely honest, like, we know that in Major League Baseball, there's a lot of personal vendettas, and there's a lot of personal reasons that the voters get in the way of why they don't vote somebody in or why they keep somebody out. In the NFL, I don't know if it's a thing from the Deflate Gate, if it's from other things, like if there's other instances behind the scenes. I don't know what it is. It feels like there must be something that the folks that vote on whether or not you should be in the NFL Hall of Fame, something's holding them back for both of those guys.
Yeah.
When we look at it strictly on results and on the field, forget what Bill Belichick has struggled with in the college game. But you look at on the field with the New England Patriots and those two guys, it feels like deserve to be in.
And you know what, D-Train, I think you bring up this is a good point, regardless if people agree with it or not. But D-Train, good morning to you. It's all the cheating they did.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That probably is a factor.
And that's my point.
And D-Train, I think you're spot on with that, man. I mean, and D-Train, here's what I'm going to say to you, though, brother. They would have beat a lot of those teams, in my opinion, anyway. But to your point, though, D-Train, it is a black eye. It is. And it's foolish to deny and say that's not a reason for some. Some were just vindictive reasons, but D-Train, you're spot on. The Spygate, the deflated footballs, the cell phone that was found in a pond.
Exactly.
To your point, it doesn't look good.
And Derek in a Car brings up some other stuff that's a little more serious and things like that with Robert Kraft. And frankly, we just don't know the details. I just think that once again, this is where across multiple professional sport landscapes, things are a little cloudy, because it is, what is the priority, right? And what's the level of importance, right? Is it on-field results? Is it if you're a good human being? Is it Super Bowl wins? Is it what is it?
Yeah, what's the criteria?
And I'm not smart enough to sit here and be like, should be the criteria. It should be black and white. Here we go. This is what it needs to be across the board. I just think that when you're talking about and looking at why those two guys specifically didn't get in, I would imagine it has something to do with something other than just the results on the field.
Bone and Firth real fast. Their ability to recognize talent and then turn that talent into unbelievable players when they got there is unrivaled.
Yeah, like you talk Wes Welker and Julian Edelman, and I'm talking
Tom Brady himself.
These are big name guys, but Tom Brady and even a couple of the tight ends that they've had, despite it not turning out well for some of them, it's just, that's the honest truth. And so we always talk so much about developing and identifying guys at the college level, but we're finding out that there's a lot of organizations that don't identify well in the NFL as well.
Gorilla Bear, but he was in before this happened. Gorilla Bear says, bro, O.J. Simpson is in the Hall of Fame. Laugh loud. Absurdity leaving Bill out screams jealousy. And that's a valid point, but he was in there way before obviously the infamous stuff that took place.
What's the incident? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Let's not talk about it.
Open that one up. Unknown texter 6340 goes, if being a first ballot Hall of Famer has significance, it means more than just being a Hall of Famer, then neither of them are first ballot Hall of Famers. But if being a first ballot Hall of Famer is no difference than being Roger Craig, then they both should have got in this year. David, you know I'm not reading that, man.
Come on. Shouldn't you be at the gym working out?
Come on, DF. You're supposed to take care of your boy. You know I'm the Black Ron Burgundy. But Nick has taught a brother well. I read the text first. Folks, Nick and Bach are going to take you for the rest of the show. Coming up, Nick, what you guys got coming up, man?
A lot of Husker basketball talk. Nebraska versus Rutgers on Saturday at 11 a.m. That's a tip-off there. Super Bowl conversation as well. So much to talk about with Bach.
Folks, Bach and Swim will be back. It's The Drive. It's Friday, 93.7 The Ticket.
The Black Crows are coming to Pinewood Bowl on Tuesday, August 4th, and we want to give you the chance to win free tickets. Tune in all week long for chances to win a pair of tickets each day on The Drive with me, Nick Sainert, and Aaron Davis this week only.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a few sprinkles possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies, be breezy. The high near 48. Tonight, mainly clear skies and light winds, a low around 23. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies, be breezy. The afternoon high near 49. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fleckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Hey guys, it's Austin Orman. Join me and former Husker Jay Foreman this Friday, February 6th for Old School, live from Back 9 Golf, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Roads in South Lincoln. We'll tell you all you need to know about the premier indoor golf place in Lincoln while enjoying Friday afternoon action of the Waste Management Open. Stop by for giveaways, prizes, and a tour of the facility. We hope to see you there on Friday, February 6th, beginning at 3 p.m. for Old School, live from Back 9 Golf in South Lincoln.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years. From design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A real quick segment here before Bach joins me at the 10 o'clock hour as he's finishing up final preparations for his shows in the next couple of hours. Make sure you stay tuned immediately following the drive for one-on-one with DP on a Friday. Then Adam Carricker will take it from 12 to 1 and Bach in the black shirt 1 to 3. And then this afternoon, 3 to 5 p.m., we will be out there until 6, but broadcasting live from 3 to 5, we'll be out at Back 9 Golf, 14th and Pine Lake Road, all leading up to Mike Smith later on tonight with the Bowie Boys. They're going to turn this place down here at 1040 O Street into a skate park. So you are invited not only to one of those, but to both of those tonight. So make sure you stop on by if you're looking for something to do on your Friday evening. It is time to give out some Super Bowl squares. We have just a few more to give out before our function on Sunday. And AD, who had to step out because of a funeral that he's got to attend, he and I were talking about Roger Craig and how finally he has been able to be inducted and selected for the NFL Hall of Fame. And so rightfully so, we are going to have a Roger Craig trivia question for today's Super Bowl squares. We will give out 4 of them in this moment. The way you win is if, number one, if you haven't won already, text us 402-464-5685. A lot of people are asking when they'll figure out and find out what square they get. The answer is by the end of the day today. I will be filling out, once we get all 100 names, I'll be filling out
the names on the squares, and we'll tweet out and post a photo of them on our social media channels, so that way you know what square you're cheering for on Sunday's big game. But the Roger Craig trivia question for 4 Super Bowl squares. If you haven't won one already, get those texting fingers ready. 402-464-5685. Roger Craig, born in Mississippi back in July of 1960. However, he did not attend high school and play football in high school in the state of Mississippi. I need to know, what state did Roger Craig play his high school football? It might be closer to Nebraska than you think. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Text in your answers if you have not won a Super Bowl square yet. What state did Roger Craig, newly inducted member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, where did he play his high school football? So as you get ready to probably look that up, Google it, whatever you need to do, I'll await the answers and we can tell you there. It is a big weekend in sports. In addition to the Super Bowl, we obviously have the Waste Management Open going on as well. A couple of various other things. Something that's kind of flown under the radar, and I want to make sure we give it its due. Nebraska softball starts today. They start today. They play a doubleheader today, 1:05 p.m. If you subscribe to ESPN Plus, you can watch every single game from this weekend for Nebraska softball on ESPN Plus. The Huskers ranked in the top 10 to start the year. This is a team that was 1 win away from the Women's College World Series last year. And on top of that, they finished with a they finished ranked 13th in the country at the end of the season last year. Nebraska softball did. They start out this season with a gauntlet. They're going to start down in San Antonio this weekend. They play Washington just after 1 o'clock today. And then how about this test tonight, 6:05 p.m., they will play number 1 Texas. So they play number 1 Texas tonight. They also play number 1 Texas again tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. And then UTSA on Saturday. On Sunday, they'll play Washington yet again. So they're going to play a couple of teams a couple of different times. But once again, this is a Nebraska softball team has lost 2 players from a season ago. They brought in a very experienced catcher. They brought in a national champion from Oklahoma as well. And so there's a lot of excitement surrounding this Nebraska softball team and what Rhonda Revelle has for her crew this season. So make sure you're staying tuned and paying attention to that before the Huskers start their play at 1 o'clock today. So once again, 464-5685, still a couple of Super Bowl squares on the line. We don't have 4 winners yet. Feel free to text us if you have not won one yet. You can also, if you're showing up on Sunday, be entered into a separate Super Bowl square sheet. And so you are not limited in that one if you've already won that one. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll close out the 9 o'clock hour. When we come back to start the 10 o'clock hour, Jake Bachhoven, Bach, will join me. We break down Nebraska-Rutgers tomorrow, 11 a.m. tip-off out in Piscataway. In the rack, the Huskers trying to avoid losing 3 in a row. We do that all coming up next year. It's The Drive 93.7, The Ticket, and theticketfm.com.
Hey guys, it's Austin Orman. Join me and former Husker Jay Foreman this Friday, February 6th for Old School, live from Back 9 Golf, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Roads in South Lincoln. We'll tell you all you need to know about the premier indoor golf place in Lincoln while enjoying Friday afternoon action of the Waste Management Open. Stop by for giveaways, prizes, and a tour of the facility. We hope to see you there on Friday, February 6th, beginning at 3 p.m. for Old School, live from Back 9 Golf in South Lincoln. Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't...
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home.
No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Go Hog Wild Pet Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crowes. Blue-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. The Southern Hospitality Tour. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Black Crowes. With South Hall, August 4th. Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneers Park. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Stop asking your friends if they're hosting a party this Sunday and come join the real party instead. Join 93.7 The Ticket for the Super Bowl at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O this Sunday and walk away with great prizes just for showing up. Why worry about making a great spread of food for the game at your house when you can enjoy all the great wings and more at Buffalo Wings and Rings? It's the Super Bowl party with 93.7 The Ticket at Buffalo Wings and Rings this Sunday at 68th and O.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainer, driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
It's on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the show, hour 2 of the program. As always, thank you to you guys for chiming in. 402-464-5685 on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line open for you guys the rest of the way. You can always reach out to us on the social media channels. If you're not following 93.7 The Ticket, you should be. But also, in addition to that, follow us, Nick_Sainer. You can also follow AC Davis CO on Twitter or X, or now Jake Bakoven on the good old X Sphere. Bach, good morning, my friend.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm dandy. We gave away 5 Super Bowl squares in the last segment. I was talking to Bach during the break. I was confused because I asked the Super Bowl squares question, and on my text line, for some reason, and this just happens on a whim because technology is technology, my text line got my profile got logged out on the computer, and I was confused because I asked the question and it just no text came in.
Interested.
And I thought, well, dang. I was like, I thought that was a pretty decent question. I thought the reaction would be good. So I tried to refresh the page and it shows like it sends me to the login screen. And I thought, okay, let's hope that once I sign back in, there it is, like 45, 50 texts come on through. So we have our 5 winners. The trivia question once again for the Super Bowl squares was obviously Roger Craig was born in Mississippi. However, he did not play his high school football in Mississippi. What state did he play in? Do you know that answer, Bach?
I did not know it was obvious that he was born in Mississippi.
Yes. Well, okay. Sorry. Anyway, Davenport, Iowa.
Okay.
So I was looking for Iowa as the correct answer there. We had 5 winners in the last segment there. Dan from Canopy, Cool Hand Luke, Justin from Hickman, Cigar Guy, and Sandy from Beaver Crossing are your 5 Super Bowl square winners. And so congrats to those listeners as they are officially in for Super Bowl squares. Once again, we will fill out all the sheets. I will try to make it as nice and legible as possible in those squares. Some of you guys have longer names than others. So I will do my best, and we will figure out who are the winners on Sunday during the big game. However, Bach, I was talking in the last segment, there's a lot of sports going on this weekend, not only the Super Bowl, but also there's been a lot of storylines around the NBA trade deadline. The Olympics are underway. The Waste Management Open is going on. Nebraska softball starts. And we can get all the way through those without even mentioning, hey, Nebraska's top 10 basketball team is playing yet again. Nebraska women's basketball plays at home this Saturday. Like, there's a lot going on. The Husker men's team trying to avoid losing 3 in a row.
Yeah, it's in what better way to do it than that Piscataway. Rutgers has been struggling quite a bit themselves. So again, Nebraska has separated themselves, especially from more of the bottom tier of the league when they've played them, before these previous 2 games, obviously against top 10 opponents, and have beat them soundly. And so hopefully you kind of get to the same thing out there when Nebraska travels on the road. I don't think anybody has really, it's not like a big concern here. I know that this, the team itself had to kind of, it's never fun to lose and kind of get that feeling back in the locker room. So you got to shake it off to a degree, but there's nothing lost from losing 2 games in the middle of the season, especially against that type of opponent. You just need to get back out there and start swinging again. And Nebraska, as we know, I mean, this isn't any sort of fluke at this point in time, is a top 10 team. Now, we've seen top 10 teams this week go down to inferior opponents, so that can certainly happen. So they just got to make sure that, they're ready to go, I would think. But I mean, it's so hard in college basketball. You see these back-to-back losses. Michigan State, you would think after Michigan would be motivated to go out there and get it done against Minnesota. They've got their own problem, obviously, with Fierce going a little bit wild there. But you would think that Nebraska basketball especially would be dialed in with the opportunity to get back on the winning track and keep this magical season rolling.
Well, I think you're right about that. And I also look at, there was a lot of adversity that Nebraska, frankly, has been put through the last couple of weeks with not only Rink Mast and the sickness that he was dealing with, even going back to Minnesota where Sam Hoiberg was under the weather and was still able to play, but Sam Hoiberg was under the weather and not 100%. And then now you have the Braden Frager injury before that. And it feels like, okay, like we've talked about it with Nebraska basketball, just avoid these massive pitfalls or massive lulls in the season, right? Whether that's losses or just poor play. It feels like Nebraska, Bach, hasn't necessarily played their best basketball like we saw earlier in the year, maybe these last couple of games. And granted, they've been facing off against much better competition. But I think now you hope that, okay, they got out of the gauntlet of Illinois, Michigan State's in the rearview mirror, Ohio State, the road games, and they won most of those, right? But now it's like you look ahead and go, okay, there's some attainable goals here for Nebraska basketball, and the storyline still remains the story where it's Nebraska can control a lot of their successes here by how they respond against Rutgers tomorrow, how they respond against Purdue next week, right, at home on February 10th. Like, there's a lot of opportunities. Fred Hoiberg gave, on this note, an update on Rink Mast and Braden Frager yesterday when he spoke to the media. Here's what he had to say.
Rink's feeling back to himself again, and he's been coming in, getting a couple extra workouts just to try to get his lungs burning and try to get himself back into shape. And Braden, yeah, he feels good. Obviously, he shook the rust off pretty quickly in that game the other night with the way that he played on the offensive end. And, obviously, listen, we need to be at full strength. And, getting those guys back on the floor is important for us. And they both had a couple good days of practice.
So there you have it with Fred Hoiberg giving an update on Rink Mast. I mean, Rink even told us yesterday that he didn't feel necessarily 100% on Saturday against Illinois. And so, and there were moments where maybe you could see in Rink, and the conditioning piece is certainly a spot where you talk about seeing maybe a deficiency from Rink in the last two games simply because of the sickness. But I don't know, Bach, like I think we all agreed at the start of this year, the one thing that could derail this season would be injuries or sickness, if you want to throw that into the same conversation. And to that point, that's been relatively true. But let's hope that Nebraska now has kind of moved on. This has been their one speed bump for the season, and now it's full steam ahead to March.
Yeah, and obviously it's odd that it would happen right when Nebraska faced off against their toughest stretch, but that's just the way it played out, and that's why Nebraska got so much respect for what they did in Ann Arbor and leading that game for most of it. Obviously, dropping it there at the end, but having a shot at the victory, at least the tie, and then of course this past game, shooting lights out in the first half, kind of came back to earth there in the second half, and so when you look at this Rutgers game, that's you don't expect to go out there and be leading by 20 after 5 minutes. There's probably going to be some peaks and valleys. You're going to have to fight through it to get there. But you'd hope that Nebraska can put some space between them and the Scarlet Knights. But again, as you kind of go beyond just team ball, as individually, there's a lot to kind of look for. As you mentioned, there's a lot of storylines, specifically there with Rink Mast. Nebraska's been shooting well, and Rink Mast has not, right? I mean, his 3-point percentage is now kind of fallen below, and it's not terrible. I mean, he's still shooting like 33% for the year, but a lot of his teammates are up to that 38%. That's that's a lot to ask. Don't get me wrong, but that's where they were, and that's what makes you so effective. And it is a lot to ask of a top 10 team if you want to be in that conversation. And him, especially when he's hitting, he's so hard to defend from there, right? So. He's got a big game coming ahead. I'm interested to see with Frager. I mean, he had a lot of open looks. I mean, I don't know how you leave a guy like him that wide open, several times there. I think teams are going to start to identify that he's that good of a shooter. He is 38% himself from beyond the arc. So, him getting back's another thing. But the other thing's Price Sanford. I mean, Price Sanford's absolutely great. Obviously has been on a run that puts him in player of the year conversation in the Big Ten. Stalled a little bit there in the second half against Illinois. Again, was that because there was a lot of grabbing? The Illinois specifically, Fred Hoiberg was not happy with that. But can he get back on that 20 points per game pace? Again, go back to the same thing I said. That's a lot to ask, but that's what he's doing. And that's what, that's what
was winning you games.
Right. And that's what's put him in the all Big Ten conversation. So, there's just individually, there's so much to kind of look out for, especially among those kind of 3 leading scorers for Nebraska this season.
Once again, Nebraska plays Rutgers tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. The game will be broadcasted on Big Ten Network, 11 a.m. tip-off in Piscataway for Nebraska and the Scarlet Knights. I think when you look at Rink, and this is where, Fred has been very, very adamant week after week as Rink has gone through these struggles, right? Of Rink impacts the game in so many other ways other than just scoring. And he might not be the most active rebounder, but in terms of what Nebraska does offensively, they run everything through Rink. And that was, there was a lot of, I caution Husker fans to not panic. And what I say when I say this is because there were a couple of weeks ago and throughout the last couple of weeks where Nebraska's been able to rest Rink Mast, right? And this was before he ended up getting sick and having to miss the Michigan game and not be 100% for the Illinois game. This was before where people were saying, okay, look, I hope this doesn't have the reverse effect on Rink and he's gonna lose his shot and he's not gonna be able to score, not gonna be able to impact the game in the scoring column and stuff. I was never worried about that, but the low-hanging fruit, and this is where I caution Nebraska fans, don't use that as a reason why he's struggling right now. Like, I think Fred Hoiberg has had to be very adamant and feels like he maybe has to defend himself for not pulling Rink, but allowing Rink to rest when there's games like Northwestern, or there were games earlier in the year like Oregon, or even what was it, Washington, I believe, or Minnesota, where it was like, we might only need Rink for these games for 20, 24 minutes, but there's going to be games down the road, and Michigan and Illinois would have been that way if he was 100%. We're going to need Rink Mast probably for 36 to 38 minutes a game. And Fred Hoiberg is pretty adamant and upfront about that. But then it's unfortunate because the rest with the struggles, and then now you piggyback, he misses a game and struggles in his return. You piggyback all of those things and combine them together. The low-hanging fruit is to go, well, I knew we shouldn't have sat him before because now he lost his shot. He's not providing anything offensively. I have zero concern about Rink Mast being able to score the basketball when Nebraska needs it. Like, I just think that Rink has been so steady his 3 years, even though he missed out a year. He's been so steady for Nebraska, and he shows up in the biggest games. Maybe he didn't on Illinois, but also he was not 100%. And I just am not too concerned right now with Rink Mast and the inability to score.
No, I'm not either. I mean, again, you just have to, but the longer that if he continues to struggle, the more it becomes a story, right? Before this last 5-game stretch, and to your point, part of this was minute restrictions against Northwestern and Oregon. Only had 17 and 20 minutes in those games. But for the last 5 games has not hit double figures as far as points. Before that, the previous 13 games, 12 of those games, he hit double figures. So he's kind of consistently, and that's where before this most recent stretch too, he was in conversation for all Big Ten and all,
comeback
all that
player of the year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And still probably is, but needs to get it going back, get it going again. So, I mean, I think a lot of this has to do, kind of combination of both those things, right? Limiting those minutes, which is good in the blowouts. Rink is for everything that he is, he does have some health conditions or problems over the years, and so you want to monitor that here in his final season in Scarlet and Cream. So that's kind of what they were doing. And then, the most recent thing, which is obviously going to debilitate you quite a bit, and you're going to have to get back into it. Now, the other thing is, but especially with a guy like that, we know he can shoot, and shooters can go through funks, and they can both ways, right? I mean, Stanford has been on this absolute run of kind of hitting everything and throwing everything. He's talking about like throwing the ball into the ocean there at times is what it looks like. And he's always had that within him, and he always will. But when you're shooting well, you feel like you've got even more of a green light. Well, it kind of goes the opposite way too. When you're starting to miss, you start to let that kind of compound and start to think about it. these guys take a lot more shots than what they're just taking in the game. Is he, I'm assuming there's times that he's feeling it pretty good out there on the court. Don't know that. I mean, maybe really is having, but I mean, the way that he's still putting him up, the way they're still going to him in those moments, I don't think there's any problem there. You just kind of get it going and get the ball in the bucket. I mean, that's obvious, but he's been able to do that throughout a majority of the season, even in games that he's not been as proficient scoring. They go to him in the final couple minutes and he gets that big bucket. Hasn't been able to do that, but you can't completely rely on that either every time, because that's just again, even Michael Jordan missed game-winning shots. It's not something you can consistently know is going to happen 100%. They found a way 100% leading up into these before 2 losses that somehow the magic was there. The magic's still there. It just, it's not going to be flawless for the most part.
I would ask the text line 402-464-5685, the Starter Heyman text line. You can also reach out to us on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Allo Cable channel 961. Has there been a player that you are as confident of the ball going in to the bucket every time more than when Pryce Sandfort shoots the ball?
That's pretty good about it.
I mean, I think that there's a lot of times in years past, right? And I think about all these 3-point sharpshooters that Nebraska's brought in, and maybe it hasn't translated onto the Pinnacle Bank Arena floor, but it's been, there's been body of work at previous stops, so we're going off of potential, right? But I think back to guys like Matej Kavas who came in, and even Lat Mayen, who shot the 3-ball well before and frankly after Nebraska. Tominaga would probably be the second one. We get Piakowski on the text line as well. But that's my question, is because I think that there's a large amount of Husker fans that, speaking specifically with Pryce, and I've said this a couple of times, I think he's been the most impactful transfer for what a specific team needs is anybody in the Big Ten Conference. I think he's been the most impactful across the entire conference. But there's just, I think, a level of confidence within the Husker fan base that when Pryce shoots it, whether it's a awkward, funky-looking shot and a release of him where he's not even balanced, and you wonder how he even gets it off, whether there's a closeout, whether there's not a defender, whether there is. I just feel like there's this sense of just confidence from the Husker fan base that we're all sitting here going, sure, Pryce, go shoot 15 threes a game because we have confidence in you making 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing. Once you've seen a guy that's able to do it and get on a heater like he is, and we saw, again, like you said, we've seen it with Tominaga, Andrew White III, another
but
guy.
Even like Keisei, excuse me, I would say this about Keisei. He could do some spectacular things, and he was just so much fun to watch for a variety of reasons, not in addition to just shooting, right? And I've always joked, I want to see the catapult statistics that of the stuff, the vests that Pryce wears for how often he moves, and kind of I want to see the analytical data after the game for Pryce Sandfort. But Keisei, for as good as he was, Nebraska needed him to do things differently than they need Pryce Sandfort to do, and they look for Pryce Sandfort to do. Keisei Tominaga was a much more of in my opinion, a bailout option. Hey, let me go ahead and just get it to Keisei at the last second in the possession and see if he can make some magic happen. And there was a lot of times that he did. Pryce isn't that for Nebraska. Pryce isn't a bailout option for Nebraska. He is the essentially consistent perimeter option for Nebraska.
He is, but I mean, like you said, both of them have different games. I mean, I think Tominaga would be able to kind of create his shot a little bit better, and so that, again, each of them have
absolutely
their different.
Yeah, this is not me diminishing what Keisei Tominaga brought to Nebraska.
Yeah, but I mean, that's actually been the big step for Pryce Sandfort. He can shoot at Iowa too. It's just that what he's done now, reacting to how defenses react to how efficient he is from beyond the arc, and what he's been able to use. Obviously, we know Keisei was really good at those kind of backdoor cuts and stuff like that. Once the defense was really up on him. So it is interesting, but I always got to give Kerry Cohorn a shout out from the early 2000s, Nebraska's all-time 3-point leader. Definitely had confidence when he put the ball up there as well. But to your point, I mean, it is, especially during this run, and this is, again, just came short here of what, 6 20-point ball games, and that hasn't been done a whole lot here at Nebraska either. Is incredible. I will ask you this because it was texted in the other day, and maybe you've been asked this before, but I didn't get to it. Which Tim Miles era player would you bring on the current team?
That is a tough question.
Yeah,
I'm going to hold off on that answer. I want to have some minutes to think about it, because like obviously the first ones that come to my mind are like Isaiah Roby and stuff, just because of their sheer talent.
Sure,
but I don't know how he would fit necessarily on this team.
There's a lot of fun options. I
mean, there is a lot of fun options.
James Palmer could get you to the line quite a bit more.
But see, like, I don't think with this team, you want a guy that, I don't want to say demands, because that seems so aggressive, but somebody that you're going to put on the floor and he's going to go, all right, I want 15 shots this game, or I need 15 shots.
Just more ball dominant, right?
Yeah, like more ball dominant. I think there's been teams. Okay, this is a great Ashley Person on the text line. Siobhan Shields.
Yeah, that's the name I thought of.
That is somebody that I think would be real intriguing on this team. You speak about somebody that could maybe bruise a little down low and get to the line, maybe a little bit more of a scoring ability much more of a scoring ability than Berke, really. Somebody also like brought up Teran Petaway. Like, that's a guy though that shot creator, but was inconsistent at times. Like, we know him for his time at, obviously, with the Michigan State game, and going absolutely ballistic in East Lansing when Nebraska beat them. But like, you're not getting that consistently from Teran.
Like sophomore Teran Petaway is what you're hoping. Junior Teran Petaway,
right?
Maybe not as much.
Yeah. So I think like it's too bad like guys like Andrew White didn't have better seasons.
He's the name you could throw in. He honestly is one of the names I thought of right away, because I mean, obviously the 3-point shooting imagine him and Price on the same floor.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Because he had a really good year at Syracuse after he left Nebraska.
He had a pretty darn good year here. He just left.
Yeah,
so he doesn't leave a good.
It doesn't feel like okay, maybe that's a better way to say it. It doesn't feel like he had a great year. Okay, this is a fun brainstorming exercise. We'll keep doing this. We're up against the clock, so we'll go ahead and take a break here. Feel free to text them in. We'll get to all of your texts, all of your suggestions, and break them down. Corey and Lincoln brings up a great point about Price this season as well. As we put a bow on the Rink conversation real quick, I did look this up, and it's important for context. You take away the one game that Rink didn't play in, or excuse me, so 21 games instead of 22. Rink's third on the team in minutes. Like it's not like we it's so easy. This once again goes back to the low-hanging fruit of that, like Rink Mast doesn't play and has been sat on the bench because of whatever minutes restriction or load management, whatever you want to call it. He's still third on the team in minutes per game. Even adding this 22nd game in terms of minutes per game average, he's third on the team, fourth in overall minutes per game. So he fluctuates with Jamarcus Lawrence back and forth, but in that order, it's Price Sanford with the most, Sam Hoiberg second on the team in minutes, and then depending on what stat you look at, whether it's average per game or total minutes, Rink Mast and Jamarcus Lawrence flip flop there. So I think it's just important for factual context. Hey, or just because Rink's playing maybe 20 minutes a game for some of these contests, it's not like he's not available and not out there when he can be. So I also, like, as somebody that saw Rink in Michigan, that dude was not playable. Like, it's just not. And the fact now we're starting to learn more about how often he was throwing up and puking and stuff and couldn't even keep IVs down, like things like that, man. That's a grind to work through. So with that being said, let's take a break. We'll get back to that question. Which player off of the Tim Miles era would you want on this Nebraska basketball team? Fun exercise. We don't get to do it very often because it's more like, what 5 players from the last 10 years would you want to build up a team? No, just one. Who is it? 402-464-5685. The Starter Heyman text line wide open for you. We'll get to every single text here when we come back here on the Drive 93.7 The Ticket.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
A membership with John Henry's will fast-track you to front-of-the-line service, seasonal tune-ups, and far fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Culture and Coffee with Mike Smith and the Bowie Boys is back this Friday, February 6th, featuring members from the Nebraska baseball team. Stop by this Friday between 5 and 8 p.m. as we turn the ticket into a skate park. You heard that right, a skate park. And also highlight the upcoming year for Husker baseball with players from the team. Again, that's 5 to 8 p.m. this Friday, February 6th, for a live broadcast of Culture and Coffee from 5 to 7 p.m. and a Vintage Market Plus skate experience hosted by the Bowie Boys from 7 to 8 p.m. This is a party you won't want to miss.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. A few sprinkles possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies. Be breezy. The high near 48. Tonight, mainly clear skies and light winds. A low around 23. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies. Be breezy. Afternoon high near 49. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fleckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crowes. Blues-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. The Southern Hospitality Tour. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Black Crowes. With South Hall, August 4th. Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneers Park. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the show, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We have some suggestions on which player from the Tim Miles era would you like to see on this Nebraska basketball team. And we have a lot of thoughts on the text line and on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, 402-464-5685. Brian on the YouTube stream says, I'd go with Isaac Copeland. He'd fit this team well. Nebraska ball fan says, hey, what's up, guys? I think that Siobhan or Isaiah Roby would have meshed well with this group. Riley W. to Rampetaway, because I feel like we need a guy to go create a bucket when we get in a lull or go cold from three. IQ Crew says, I would just like to see Price and Connor Essegian without injury. I think there's a lot of people. I don't know if this is sarcasm. I would hope it's a little bit of sarcasm. Jesse the Plumber brought in Cam Mack. That was Fred. That's Fred Hoiberg player, but still.
Yeah.
He says a true point guard.
One of my favorites. Yeah.
Definitely a triple-double.
Yeah, that's right.
Triple-double against Purdue.
Yeah.
Against Purdue.
And he always said, I mean, he was before Sellies were really mainstream. He was
true.
the Selly guy.
He was the Selly guy. Corey and Lincoln says, Price already has more threes made this season than Casey had his entire senior year. Price is 77 for 188. Casey Tominaga was 76 for 202. A lot of people saying Siobhan Shields, hard-nosed downhill guy. Cubsker says Petaway 1,000%. I'm surprised by the amount of Teran Petaway. I'm also surprised by the amount of Siobhan. The reason being, like, are we taking somebody away from this Nebraska basketball team currently, or are we adding them? Like, because if Siobhan's out there, right, who's the guy you're taking off the floor?
Right, yeah.
And like, everybody wants to continue dogging on Berke, right? Like, that's the one that people are going to be like, oh, well, just bring some more offense onto the floor. Berke does things for you defensively and rebounding wise that, like, Rink, once again, not to go after Rink, like, Rink's not a very active rebounder in terms of the statistics. And that's fine. Like, Rink is very valuable in his role. Like, this is not me saying that Rink needs to do this better. Nebraska has a good blend right now where they're able to, as an undersized team, still handle their own for the most part, or at least figure out other ways to make up for the rebound deficiencies that they have.
Yeah, and it's a fun exercise, but I wouldn't think too much into it because
No.
once you really get into it, I mean, then you are talking about taking. I mean, we love the current team, right? The
Oh
current
my
team
gosh,
fits
absolutely.
perfectly together. So when you go through it and you think, well, what position is this guy? Does that mean less minutes for Berkay or Sam Hoiberg? And what would that do?
Well, and like
so-
Siobhan's a couple inches shorter than Berkay, like so
Right,
it's not a clear swap.
Well, and then the same thing, like if you didn't have dominant bigs really during the Tim Miles era, so
No,
it's not
gosh,
like you have
no.
a whole lot of options there. Now, like the first one that came out of your mouth was Isaiah Roby.
Yeah.
And I think that the more I think about that might, I mean, he just fits in any offensive
He
team,
does,
right?
but a
So-
stretch four that can, I mean,
Yeah.
the shooting ability from the perimeter would fit well in this thing. I think, what was Isaiah 6'10", somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things
Shot
to where,
blocking ability would
yeah,
skyrocket for this team.
the athleticism
Yeah.
that just has. How about this one, Eric in deep South Lincoln, Walter Pitchford.
See, there you go. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a really good
stretch
one.
for as well.
Great stretch for.
Yeah.
There was that crazy statistic where it was like Nebraska had. It's similar to the statistic of Nebraska whenever they lose a tip, they win the game, type of thing. They had the crazy statistic that season, one of the years that Walt P was here, where if he started the game making a three, Nebraska was like undefeated.
Well, P for three. That actually is what I thought of when you said Price Stanford. When Nebraska doesn't have any more confidence than Price Stanford. I originally thought, except for maybe Walt Pitchford's first three of the game.
I mean, it was nonstop.
Yeah.
It was they'd roll the little pick and roll, pick and pop out for Walter Pitchford, and he'd be at the top of the key or maybe just off the top of the key. And he would hit it I believe he did that in No Sit Sunday. That was the first bucket of No Sit Sunday was Walter Pitchford hitting a three. So it's always funny to find those little caveat and those fun little statistics in there. But no, back to the main point. Nebraska plays Rutgers tomorrow. Big opportunity. Like this is one I find myself sitting here once again and not necessarily saying it because I don't believe it. I actually expect Nebraska to win tomorrow and take care of business. But this is as you try to continue building that national recognition that you're going to need come March. With the Gonzaga loss, it certainly helps, right? The Gonzaga loss to Portland. That's a bad loss for the Zags. This is a chance now to not only move up in the rankings, but stay right in the thick of it for the Big Ten Conference standings and the race there. And it's one of those go out to the East Coast, take care of business, come back home. You got Purdue next week. Like that's a big one.
Well, and it is. I mean, and two, again, I think Nebraska should be plenty motivated. I'm always interested in that, that part of sports, especially, college guys, young guys, you never know what's kind of going on in their lives. And certainly coming off of the sicknesses and the injuries that have been there. So it's hard to imagine that they wouldn't be very focused. But if you look at just the schedule, right, just the schedule aspect of it, this is the definition of a trap game.
Yeah.
It's the third of 4 games, and it's the only one against an opponent that's not in the top 12, right? It's a lower level Big Ten team. So, again, Nebraska with the time in between the games, the concerns with, injury and health and all that sort of stuff, they should be plenty motivated here. But generally, this is the definition of what a trap game would look like on a schedule.
So Nebraska, though, here's what's funny. Nebraska was just announced by Joe Tipton of On3, who's kind of their basketball guy. He announced that Nebraska next week is going to host a player for an official visit. A 6'8" Swiss guard is going to be making the long journey from Switzerland to Nebraska next week. I'm going to attempt the name and not butcher it. Clark. That one's easy.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you did pretty well.
K-L-A-R-K.
Okay.
Clark. I'm going to go with Reithauser.
Okay.
R-I-E-T-H-A-U-S-E-R.
Yeah.
Reithauser, whichever one. 6'8" Swiss wing, Clark Reithauser. He is in the midst of playing for the French team, the under-21 FIBA team. That is where he's at currently. These are his per game statistics over in the U21 league. 17.6 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game, 2.5 assists, 2.5 steals. He's shooting 53% from the field, 42% from the three-point line, and 77% from the free throw line. So there it is. Clark Reithausen is, I would imagine, for the Purdue game. All the tweet says is next week. He'll be hosting an official visit next week. Next week is Purdue. I would imagine
so.
that's the draw there. But either way, Nebraska, we know that they brought in that 4-star recruit from Brazil last weekend. And now Luca Virgilio using those international contacts that he has to bring in a 6'8" Swiss wing in Clark Reithausen.
That's awesome. But it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you're between 6'6" and 6'8" and you can shoot, you should be here in Nebraska.
What's incredible to me is just the official visit. Like, you just imagine you're going across the country to just visit a college.
Yeah.
Everything's taken care of for you. Don't worry, Clark. We got you.
Yeah. So it's gonna be
it's such a fascinating thing.
Yeah. How long would you stay in town?
Hold on.
Usually you visit that long.
How about I thought about another player as we're talking international. Where does Ty Webster rank on the list of guys you would want here?
Well, I thought that's again going back to
Ty Webster was
the point guard.
He doesn't
senior year Ty Webster.
Senior year Ty Webster.
Yeah, that was a dog. That was a player. He would definitely be up there. Again, I think that's interesting because I did the same thought through, work through there with Glenn Watson. But Jamarcus Lawrence is just so solid. Both those guys, I think, would have their arguments maybe to be upgrades. But,
yeah,
if you're kind of looking at other spots, you could probably get bigger upgrades throughout the roster. Because I don't know if you necessarily need to make that move. But that's a good idea. Yeah.
Ty Webster.
Love Ty Webster.
Trying to think of some other just guys. Benny Parker. Benny was a Tim Miles guy, right?
Yeah.
Deverell Biggs.
For a short time.
He had a couple of really good games.
Yeah.
Anton Gill.
Yeah, he also was here.
Come on.
No. Okay.
No,
Anton
Gill was good.
I liked Anton Gill. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Ray Gallegos.
Yeah. I always
talk about a guy that
his shot was going in.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Yeah. Didn't go in though.
He did. It very seldom did. Ray
but
Gallegos.
he was again. Remember when he left the next year after he left, things fell apart.
That is true. I'm trying to think of
glue guy.
Some other ones. Who like Jack McVay?
Yeah.
Can we get professional Jack McVay?
Yeah, you want an NBA player, Jack McVay? Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
Anyway,
be an option.
Nebraska doesn't use him as a Huskers in the pros.
They don't?
I don't think so.
Was his last stop here?
Well, yeah, because he left for overseas.
Right.
And he just left to go play professionally overseas. So I guess maybe they do claim him.
They should. He
wasn't very good here.
He was not great here. He had a few games. He did. I mean, there were games when he could shoot well.
Hold on. So six. What do you know? 6'8".
Yeah. 6'8" shooter.
He was here for 1 year. Jack McVay. Oh no, he was here for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did they call it? The bench squad, or what did they call it? He
wasn't
the
the
big
bench
part
mob?
of that. Bench mob.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he's a big part of that.
He a 6'8" forward from Cabarita Beach, New South Wales, Australia. Played 3 seasons in Nebraska, making 78 appearances. He posted career averages of 5 points and 2 rebounds per game. Played in 14 games in 2017, totaling 27 points all season long in 105 minutes of action. Nice.
I'm just surprised there's not more James Palmer love, considering how we all, what Nebraska get the line more, or maybe that's just still the officials.
Yeah, maybe. And Corey Lincoln makes a great point on why this is just a conversation just to have. He says, I don't want to mess with the flow of this team. Don't want a point guard. I don't want a ball dominant guy. Bingo. That part is the big one for me, Corey. I think you're hitting on the head there. I don't want a big that only shoots like Pittsburgh. I want a big that can score and defend. Roby, then Copeland. For me, that's the list. I think so too. I think, Corey, to add to that, as we look forward to the next couple of years under Fred Hoiberg, I think that Nebraska and Fred and the staff has found a blend of what they want their roster to look like. And I think we're going to try to see them. Maybe not. They're not going to be able to duplicate and replicate this perfectly going forward year after year. And I mean, because it's hard to find somebody that can mean as much to your team as Sam Hoiberg does. It can be hard to find a guy that's okay with the role that Cale Jacobson had last year to where he sticks around this year and finally sees his role expand, right? But I think to Corey and Lincoln's point, and this is something I've said the last couple of weeks, is where it's just the matter of I'm fascinated by what they could potentially do with Aleo Curtis in the future, and I'm really intrigued by what Jacob Lanier, what their decision thought process is with like a guy like Jacob Lanier next year. And through the portal, I think that they've figured out, okay, this is the type of guy that we want, and this is the type of guy we want to go look at. And it's not a guy, as much as we loved Bryce Williams, like it's not a guy that needs 16 shots in a game. Like that's just not. And Nebraska's found a way from their culture and the stability of it. I just think that, you figured out something and you found something that works really well that Husker fans can also be proud of. And I think that plays a factor in it as well.
Well, I don't think we want to, I don't want to say this but I think it will eventually be a thing, is that one thing that the football team did this past year that maybe doesn't get enough credit is how they retain a majority of the roster's retainment.
100%.
Retainment's going to be huge this offseason. There's going to be some names, the Fragers, the Sanfords, they're going to have big opportunities.
I'm not entirely concerned with that. I think Braden, I look at this and go, if I'm Price Sanford, there were things and reasons on why you came here with Fred Hoiberg in the first place. And none of that changes. I think it only validates Fred's vision for Price Sanford even more. I think that there were a lot of coaches that saw Price Sanford as one thing, and Fred might have seen him as 3 or 4 different things, and his ability to use him in those ways. I think that this only validates it with the Braden Frager stuff. I think, like, if you're Fred Hoiberg, you're telling Braden Frager, look, this is why we made the decision and had you reclassify and then redshirt for a year, is so that you could have a season to this extent, right? Like, I think it only validates things. And this isn't a roster that feels financially motivated. Like, sure, everybody wants to get theirs, but I'm not as concerned about losing maybe your top end guys as I am talking about, all right, the Leo Curtises of the world. Like, do they see the vision, right? And that's why I think it's important for guys like Braden Frager to maybe stick around, and for guys like, it's too bad Nick Janowski didn't stay put, because I think that there was something similar and a similar path potentially for him, and he's having a really good year at St. Thomas right now. But it's one of those things is, Fred has done this the last couple of years where they've redshirted somebody. Braden is really the first one to be able to stick around through that redshirt year and see the fruits of the labor. I hope that now Fred and his staff can use that as validation for other guys and for Braden Frager going forward, going, look, we've put Nebraska basketball on the map as a top 15 team in the country, respectively. You're a big reason why. You don't have to go to a basketball powerhouse, number one, to be compensated correctly per Troy Dannon, and number two, to get noticed. They'll find you if you're good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're in a good spot. Don't get me wrong; it's not necessarily a Nebraska-centric thing.
No,
it's more of just the modern day of college basketball.
100%.
Been burnt before with Andrew White. I mean, Tim Miles had some teams that were on track. And
100%.
The Ed Morrows, Casey Jacobson in less than a week type of
That's
stuff.
Right.
I mean,
that's right.
It can all.
I forgot about that
come
one.
Down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I forgot about Casey Jacobson. That's right. Or
no,
Michael Jacobson.
Yeah.
Michael Jacobson.
NFL tight end.
Yep. Indianapolis Colts. Let's take a break. Round out the show. Coming up next on The Drive.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings, thanks to the all-new Delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I Parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I Parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into The Drive one last time on a Friday as we are getting ready to hand it off to DP for one-on-one with DP, and then Adam Carricker at noon, all leading up to Bach and the Black Shirt. Remember, today, a couple of things, well, a lot going on at the Ticket this weekend. Starting this afternoon, I'll just go in order from when things are happening, but Old School, we broadcasting live from Back Nine Golf, which is an indoor golf simulator experience. Top of the line, full swing simulators just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Feel free to stop on by. We'll have giveaways. They are giving away a 3-hour cage rent, or excuse me, a 3-hour bay rental for a group of 4 players. And if with golf season right around the corner, we all could sharpen our skills a little bit. They have a PGA teaching professional on site. Matt is incredible. But also with that, for you and your 3 other friends that you go golf with, if you're interested, they will offer you a free, for each of you, 1-hour individual lesson with their PGA teaching professional. So plenty of giveaways. We have plenty of merch. We're tossing away. We're throwing. We're giving it to you as well this afternoon for everybody that stops on by. Get a full tour of the facility. It's going to be a great time, and learn about their memberships. Meet Jason and Matt, the 2 owners of the facility, and they are exceptional. So with that being said, that's from 3 to 5 p.m. today. Then at 5 p.m., from 5 to 8 p.m., you have Culture and Coffee with Mike Smith from the Bay, obviously, who is going to be coming in here with the Bowie Boys, and he'll have his normal special guest. They're going to turn this place down here at 1040 O Street into a skate park. It's going to be an awesome time with Mike, as it always is. And then
normal Saturday programming. We'll have Husker basketball post-game show following Nebraska and Rutgers tomorrow, in addition to our usual Saturday programming. And then Sunday afternoon, I recommend get there early, Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68th and O, as we will have our annual Super Bowl party with our friends from Buffalo Wings and Rings. Lots of people. The first 100 in the door will automatically get signed up for a Super Bowl square. It is a separate Super Bowl square sheet from the one that you're participating in over the air. And there's plenty of ways to win. We're going to have giveaways. Jake and myself and other ticket folks will be cutting in during commercial breaks and be giving away tickets. We are blowing up footballs. We are taking care of all of that. We got autographed things. We got jerseys. We got everything that your little heart could desire. So come on out for the big game on Sunday. The game kicks off at 5:30 p.m. If you want a Super Bowl square, I'd recommend probably getting there by at least 4:30 p.m. But then through that, if you want a seat, probably get there by 5 in all seriousness. And so we are excited to be once again with our friends from Buffalo Wings and Rings. Bach, out of everything this weekend, the Super Bowl is Sunday. What's the path for the New England Patriots to win?
Well, they haven't been blown out all season. I know that people see them as an underdog. I think in general that Seattle does have a little bit more of the playmakers. We saw Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
And I said it in Jigba correctly.
That's right. Seriously.
Win Offensive Player of the Year. And so, I mean, they've got more weapons. I think New England's best and, behind Mike Vrabel and of course, Josh McDaniels won his own award last night. So I can't say, Drake may run up in the MVP. They've got their own things going for them offensively. I just think, a more low scoring game, something below the, 24 or something around that is the Patriots' path to victory.
There you have it. 5:30 the kickoff. Don't forget, Husker softball starts today, 1:05 p.m. They play Washington, then 6:05 tonight. They play number 1 Texas, your top 10 Husker softball team. Exciting season on the horizon for Rhonda Revelle. That is all for us. One-on-one with DP is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Big weekend ahead on the ticket. We'll see you in a few minutes.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality.